Hello and welcome to Day 8 at the Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium, the World Para-Athletics Championships of 2025. We are rocketing towards the end. It is Day 8 morning session. 4 sessions remaining, including this one. The JLN Stadium has been a magnificent host. The weather again looking wonderful for this penultimate day. 26 degrees at present. Yet again, a very minimal wind. There hasn't been anything to talk about too much as far as headwinds or tailwinds go in both the track and the field. The stadium that was first constructed back in 1982 for the Asian Games, the 2010 Commonwealth Games were here as well, holds around 60,000 spectators all up. And the 4th time we've seen Asia host the Games. New Delhi has been wonderful, and today will be wonderful as well on the track and the field. Women's shot put F12 gets us underway. Asunta Linyante, the Paralympic champion, who's taken silver in the discus. Kiara Rodriguez, 3 medals already. She goes in the women's long jump T47. Mikey Brannigan, the reigning world champion, men's 1500 metres T20. Ben Sandilands, the Paralympic champion, did not start in his heat yesterday. So it is Mikey Brannigan looking for a second consecutive World Championship title. Women's shot put F34 qualification, long jump T20 qualification. We rounded up with the men's 800 metres T34, which will take us through to the end of the morning session here on Day 8, the opening round of that event. And that is how it looks. A slightly lesser schedule. Big schedule last night with the added of the men's shot put F46 and Marcus Rame in the T64 long jump with a championship record. But this is how it looks. Starting off on the opening session of day number 8 is the women's shot put F12. I'm Tulson Tollett. Steph Reed is alongside me as always, back from her little health episode, and Will Downing to take you through this.
A very good morning. Women's shot put F12, medium visual impairment, it's up to 5%, and we have some absolute great champions in here, and actually a lot of champions who've picked up golds even this week. 3 of them go in this shot put, including Zhao Yuping, who's won gold in the javelin, Joy Eunhui, who's won gold in the discus, and Yokoton Kolpakova of Uzbekistan, who's won gold in the long jump, unusually enough. Asunta Linyante in this as well, a proper legend over the last 20 years of para sport, and before that, a champion in world athletics. Interesting morning. It's a little bit hazy. We'll see how that progresses through the morning. So the big introductions on the way.
9 meters 28 from Uzbekistan.
Starting off with
Kolpakova,
the long jump champion this week,
Yokoton
Kolpakova of Uzbekistan. Next up,
Elena
athlete,
Shak.
50 discus. Elena Shak, 11:26 would make her a candidate here. There's only one event that Lydia Church is in this week for Great Britain, and this is in for 12:67, a lifetime best this year, and that puts her second.
4th in the world last year from Turkey.
6th in the javelin here, Sema Demir Kapu, Turkey.
The world bronze medalist from the People's Republic of China, Zhao Eunhui.
The discus champion this week for China, Joy Eunhui.
The Paralympic champion from Italy.
Now a woman who's approaching
Asunta
double
Linyante.
figures in terms of global titles. Silver in the discus here for Asunta Linyante.
The world silver medalist from the People's Republic of China,
Gold in the
Zhao
javelin
Yuping.
here for Zhao Yuping. She's looking for a double herself.
6th in the world last year from
Isabella
Brazil.
Campos finished
Isabella
4th in
Campos.
the discus this week. And looking for a
And finally,
little
with the best
pick-me-up
of
after
10
finishing
meters
8th in the
82 for
javelin,
Chinese Taipei.
representing
Lao
Chinese
Yating.
Taipei. It is Liu Yating. So 9 in the final.
Your athletes, the women's
And 8
shot
will
put
progress
F12
all the
final.
way in this. Actually, Liu Yating has been around a long time. She's been in 4 Paralympic Games. She's by no stretch of the imagination the oldest in this.
First into the circle in the shot.
She is a bronze medalist formerly in Lyon back in 2013 at the Worlds. So a bit of versatility across the field, which is always a good thing. Lots of field events over the first 25 minutes. Only one track final this morning, but there'll be loads tonight. Don't worry about that. So 7:73 for Kolbakova. She's underway for Uzbekistan. Season's best is about a metre almost beyond that. And a lifetime best had a further one on. So next to go, neutral athletes, Elena Shak. Now she is F11, which is complete visual impairment. The two classifications have been bunched together for this. Linyante taking gold in this last year in the Paralympic Games, as per usual. More about her shortly. Solid enough throw by Shak. She is a 10-metre thrower this season. And now she's an 11-metre thrower this season. 11:04. Excellently finished. Next up for Great Britain is Lydia Church, silver in the shots at the most recent European Championships in Bydgoszcz 4 years ago. That's a solid one out towards 12 metres. Now Lydia Church, 12:67 her lifetime best this year. She's from Peterborough. Turns 26 next week. And this makes her a prime candidate, definitely for a medal. In terms of lifetime best and season's best, she's right up there in the top three. That goes out to 11:66. It's a metre 01 off her lifetime best set this year. But that, very, very impressive. And we'll have more of that as the morning goes on.
We've been entertained all week with some fantastic long jump competitions, and I am sure this morning with the women's long jump T47 it's going to be no different. We have our entire podium from the Paris Paralympics returning, including one standout performer. Look out for Chiara Rodriguez of Ecuador, the only 6-meter jumper in this field, and well beyond 6 meters, 6 meters 47 for her best. But kicking things off, we have Anora Sufieva. Now she has waited all week for her World Championship debut. 17-year-old from Uzbekistan, just doing the long jump. And from Nepal, Prabha Angdembe. Another athlete making her World Championship debut, having to wait all week. Just one of 2 athletes here competing for Nepal. Yana Jing of China. We've already seen her in the 100 and 200 meter heats. She is coming in with a personal best of 5 meters 23. From France, you've probably already heard this name, Marie Ngusu Ngoyi. Now we have seen some incredible world champ debuts this week, and this is one of them. Now she has already competed in a Paralympics where she finished 6th in the 100 meters, but what a difference a year makes. Paulo Garcia Ramos of Venezuela. Now we didn't see her last year competing, but the Paralympian had her highest global finish at the Paris 2023 World Champs in 4th. The standout in this field, Chiara Rodriguez of Ecuador. She took her first world title back in 2019 as a 6-year-old, and as a 16-year-old. 6-year-old would have been impressive, and hasn't looked back. She won it in 5 meters 52 in 2019 and has added a meter onto that since then. Petra Lucerin of Hungary. It has not been her champs so far, but this is her strongest event in the long jump. Paralympic silver medal from Paris, a former high jumper competing for the University of Nebraska. From Denmark, Bjørk Normark. Yesterday, she went straight through to the 200-meter finals, winning her heat, and today she fights for a medal in the long jump. Bronze medalist from Paris. Filipa Hechavarria, 21-year-old from Cuba. She was 6th at the last World Champs in Kobe, competing in her 3rd World Championships. From India, Nimisha Chakungal Parambi. Championship debut with a personal best of 5 meters 26. Competing for Sri Lanka, Janini Wickramasinghe. She was 6th in Kobe at the World Champs and 9th at the Paralympics in Paris. Has already set a personal best in the 100-meter heats at this World Championships. And rounding off this field, Stiliana Smaragdi, the 30-year-old from Greece, the most experienced athlete we have in this field, making her championship debut back in Christchurch in 2011 as a 16-year-old. Smaragdi has never taken a global medal. Could this be her time now? We've seen world records already on this runway. We've seen championship records. We know it is fast and we know it is hot. And kicking things off is Anora Sufiyeva from Uzbekistan. Uzbekistan sending a massive team here, 46 athletes. Now to put in perspective, USA has sent 48 athletes. USA with a population of 340 million, Uzbekistan with a population of 38 million. Uzbekistan, a nation that really has been punching above their weight recently in para-athletics. Sufiyeva, just 17 years old, making her long jump debut at the World Championships, and she has done it in style. 4 meters 80, personal best to kick things off. Waiting patiently on the runway is Prabha Ngdembe. Now you'll just see dotting the runway there a bunch of colorful markers with numbers on them. And that's because every athlete has a runway measurement. You'll see them come out. Sometimes they'll use a tape measure. Sometimes they'll walk back using just their feet. That's because one of the most important skills here is being able to be accurate on that board. Definitely an underrated skill. You can see there Ngdembe well over the takeoff board on that one. But when you think about it, the ability to run at full tilt and be accurate, we've seen a lot of athletes this week struggling with that foul board. As you can see, there is an official there, and there are also cameras making sure that the right call is made. She'll have to wait until round 2 to get a mark on that board. Now this is a T47 event, which is for athletes with an arm impairment below the elbow. But you'll see that we also have T46 athletes competing, athletes with an arm impairment above the elbow. Yan gets the white flag from the official. We've already seen her in action twice this week in the 100 meter and 200 meter heats. Now it's interesting to consider the effect that having an arm impairment has both on the long jump and on running. There's actually a study in the Journal of Biomechanics back in 2022 where they looked at the impact of not using your arms in a standing long jump. and they found that subjects jumped 21% further when they were able to use their arms than without. And that just gives you an idea of the kind of challenges that come when you're trying to do this really, really complex movement without the full use of your arms. I will update you with Yang's result in just a moment. We know it was a valid result. But on the runway at the moment is Marie Nguyen, represented France at the 2024 Paris Paralympics, finishing 6th in the 100 meters. And my goodness, what a difference a year makes. She's already come and taken a bronze in the 100 meters and significantly improved her personal best in the long jump this year. Get some shots there of the track. You can see this long jump runway absolutely bathed in sunshine. Nguyen comes in as a serious contender for a podium finish in this event. Still so young and still with so much experience to gain. But athletes around this age can be so dangerous because the rate at which they improve can be off the scale, and we have certainly seen that with Nguyen. The other benefit of being a teenager is that sometimes you come in and you are just simply fearless. You don't have the fear that you sometimes gain as you become an older athlete. No idea of what is at stake, just the ability to go out there and jump with absolute freedom. Wow, you can just see the speed that Nguyen delivers onto that runway, but not just that, the lift that she gets at takeoff. Two things unbelievably important when it comes to jumping far. The first one being your takeoff speed, your velocity, which we know that she has improved significantly this year, taking that bronze in the 100 meters. But it's the ability to convert it, the ability to get that height, which you could just see she was doing there, flying well above the officials lining the pit. And I have to say, she was well behind the takeoff board on that jump. So whatever we see come up here, you can add at least 20 centimeters to that to get a gauge of where she's at in terms of power and fitness. $5.32.
Just while we're waiting for the next jumper, the men's javelin throw F54 is underway as well. If you're watching on the dedicated field event feed, you can watch that. There are 7 athletes going in that. The first one, Ladislav Kokrin of Slovakia, is underway. His season best of 27.15 so far, his second attempt. He has 4 more left to go in that men's javelin throw F54.
Anna Sunderlande leads the shot put. She's the defending champion, 14.05 her first attempt.
Preparing herself on the runway now, Paula Garcia Ramos. Now, we didn't see her compete last year, but in Paris 2023, she finished 4th in the World Championships. Another example of some excellent lift at takeoff. Excellent flight. Unfortunately, she has been given the red flag there. Accuracy is so important when it comes to long jump. And you can see just how close it was there, just how fine those margins. She does such a good job of getting those heels up, making sure she fights for every single centimeter on that jump. Now, as soon as you've left the board, there's absolutely nothing an athlete can do to add to that total. However, by controlling your position in the air, you can ensure that you squeeze out as many centimeters as possible. All eyes now looking at Chiara Rodriguez of Ecuador. She has jumped 6 meters 47 in this event. She has the speed, she has the power. What is she gonna do? And that really unusual technique that she is known for. She won her first long jump world championship title back in 2019. She won it with a jump of 5 meters 52, just 2 centimeters ahead of Anna Grimaldi of New Zealand, who unfortunately isn't this championships, but has chosen not to contest in this long jump final. And you can see the markers there. Well over 6 meters, has opened up with a championship record of 6 meters 29. She has won every long jump world title since 2019, and she is going for 4 in a row here. What a way to kick it off. Now, Petra Lucharin has not had the championship she has dreamed of so far. However, this is her strongest event. She slipped in the blocks in the 100 meters. She was 7th in the 400 meters, well down on her personal best. And then she stopped running in the 200 meter heats after about 20 meters, receiving a yellow card in the end for improper conduct. But it could all change for her here. As I said, this is one of her strongest events. This is her last chance to really turn this World Championships around for her. She comes in with a personal best of 5 meters 5 meters 85, but this year been well down on that with a season's best of 5 meters 60. 5 meters 59. So at the moment she sits in 2nd position. Chiara Rodriguez sits in 1st position with that 6 meters 29 championship record. And we have Ngusu Ngoye of France sitting with 5 meters 32. We are blasting through the first round of the women's T47 long jump. Bjørk Normark of Denmark, who yesterday went straight through to the 200 meter finals, winning her heat. We'll see the finals on Sunday. But today, she is fighting for a medal in one of her strongest events. She was the bronze medalist in this event in Paris. Unfortunately, a foul in that opening attempt. In the long jump, it is so important to establish that runway early. If you can do it early, what that means is you can then build on each jump and you can get a little bit more aggressive with each round. But when you've got a foul with that first attempt, it then means that you have to spend your 2nd, possibly 3rd attempt trying to find your spot on the board. She'll have a discussion now with her coach. Do I need to move my mark back? Was it simply the matter of how I ran the runway? Did I open up my stride too much coming into the board? Some of the questions she'll have to answer in those discussions with her coach. Filipa Heckavaria, 6th at the last World Championships in Kobe, just 21 and already competing in her 3rd World Champs. Any sort of strapping on your leg, always a worry when it comes to the long jump because so much power, so much explosion required, especially when it's coming from your takeoff leg. Four super important qualities needed from a long jumper in speed. It's explosive power, its strength, and its agility. And actually, as we've seen in this first round, I would also add accuracy to that. You build up all this wonderful speed on the runway, and then you have a split second on that takeoff board to suddenly convert all of that speed, to change those force vectors. Getting that lift and launching yourself out into that pit.
They come.
4 meters 97 for Hekavaria. That takes her into 4th position. Still very early days in this long jump competition. Up next, the 24-year-old Namishi Chakungal Parambil. One of a handful of athletes in this field making their championship debut. India having another amazing evening last night with a gold medal in the men's high jump and also a gold medal in the women's T12 100 meter. And actually, it was the first female from India that we've seen win a gold medal at these championships. And it may be her championship debut, but Chakungal Parambil ran that runway with confidence. Excellent example of how you want to build the rhythm on your runway and reach max speed, about 2 to 3 strides out. And you can just see there, total confidence, total trust. She attacked the whole way. So we have 12 women going in this field, 5 meters 58. That confident runway rewarded with a personal best. What a way to start off.
It's not a lot of track action actually this morning, and we've one track final, the men's 1500 meters T20. This is the intellectual category. We've got the former Paralympic champion Michael Brannigan of the United States in this, the former European champion Sandro Baeza of Portugal, and Cristiano Pereira, who's also taken world and European gold in his time. Field of 12 in it. Pereira is finishing outside the medals at the World Champs last year. So let's start off with the championship debut, who's picked up bronze in the 800 meters in New Delhi this week, Mehmet Egelmez. Outside him, the new world 800 meters champion, bronze in the 15 at the Paralympics in Tokyo 4 years ago, and the Europeans that same year of 2021, Ndiaga Dieng. Outside him for Japan, bronze in the 1500 meters at the Worlds in Kobe last year from Oita, it's Yuji Tagawa. Outside him, the former European 4 and 800 meters champion. He's medalled in the last 3 global championships, including silver in both events, the Worlds and the Paris last year, Sandro Baeza. Outside him, 21-year-old from Japan, championship debut, 3:52 his lifetime best this year for Natsuki Toda. Outside him, the former Pan Am World and Paralympic champion from Rio in 2016, the United States, it's Mikey Brannigan. Outside him, 9th and 10th in the 1500 meters in the last 2 world champs, it's Yuki Iwata. Outside him, 5th in the World Championships in Paris 2 years ago, 6th in the most recent Europeans in Bydgoszcz in 2021. It's Gael Geoffroy. Outside him, what a championship debut in New Delhi. Silver in the 800 meters this week for Saudi Arabia, Meshal Mahutan. Outside him, one of the excellent Rodriguez brothers in the T20. Silver in the 400 at the 2014 European Championships in Swansea. It's Jonabel Rodriguez. Outside him for Greece, and a decent championship debut here as well. He's finished 4th at the 800 metres already this week. It's Gabriel Arapatsis. And on the very outside, the 2018 European champion over 1500 metres and world champ over 5,000 metres at London in 2017 for Portugal, Cristiano Pereira. So 12 going in this. No Ben Sandilands, the world and Paralympic champion who broke the world record 2 months ago in Trafford in Manchester. 3:44.90. Ben Sandilands absent, didn't make it to the line for the semi-final. As a result, the door is open either for a new name to be champ or for a returning hero. And there are quite a few there. Dieng has already taken a gold this week, 800 metres. So Egelmez, Dieng, Tagawa, Baisa, Toda, Brannigan, Iwata, Geoffroy, Mahutan, Rodriguez, Arapatsis and Pereira are the 12 in this men's 1500 metres final. And it's a very solid start. Japan have got 3 in it. Toda moving up towards the front of the start. Falling back a little bit actually for Saudi Arabia is Mahutan. Is Pereira in 2nd spot. And the Frenchman in 3rd, Gael Geoffroy. Japan have got 2 of the first 4 in this, and now 2 of the first 3. It's gone way out in front early on. It's Toda with Pereira, and then that gap back to Iwata with 3 laps to go. And yeah, quite a gap between the front 2 and the rest.
For me, this is one of the most exciting races on the World Championships program. The thing is, we watch this and we never know how it's going to play out. It is a completely different race every time. And if that's what we're thinking, you can only imagine what the athletes are thinking. It's so hard to come in here and sit down with your coach and think about a race plan because you never have any idea what the other athletes are going to bring. It's different every time, and that makes it incredibly difficult for these athletes to prepare their strategy.
And Atsuki Toda going out well in front, this 21-year-old in his championship debut. So 3:52 is his lifetime best, remembering that tactics don't come into the T20s. It's always worth bearing in mind there. It's a strong advantage he has for the moment, and now a little bit of tying up coming from Pereira as we approach 2 laps to go, and he's being caught up by Giles Jeffrey. It's always been big fields, and Mikey Brannigan is moving up with 2 laps to go, and Brannigan, well, it's almost a sprint from him at this stage as he moves up into 2nd spot. The man who took gold at the end of his road to Rio in 2016, but he's been the Pan Am and the world champ too, and now he fancies another go in New Delhi today.
Now you can just get a sense there that Brannigan sensed the danger. He was not expecting Toda to go out like he did. Brannigan came in expecting perhaps maybe a more casual start with a sprint finish. However, Brannigan spotted the danger. He has responded, and now he is absolutely blasting past Toda, deciding, I'm going to take control of this race, and it looks like we are going hard.
Mikey Brannigan hits the front with 500 meters to go. The bell is coming next time around there, finishing for real. It's a good lead over Natsuki Toda, who went out strong and early. He's got a good advantage. The bell coming now, Brannigan taking it. Toda in 2nd place, so Saudi Arabia in 3rd, around 30 meters back now. The big championship debutant of Mehutan Meshal, who picked up silver in the 800 meters, and he's been overtaken by the bronze medalist in that, Mehmet Egelmez. But Mikey Brannigan well out in front, ahead of Natsuki Toda. There's a gap of around 10-15 meters looking across the haze on the far side of the back straight. And Brannigan, who's been here before and done it all before and picked up bronze in the Paralympics last year in Paris after that gold in Rio, turning for home, just about 100 meters remaining. And Brannigan has surely got this in the bag. You have to praise Natsuki Toda a lot for going out and staying out, and he will get a medal almost certainly at this stage. But Mikey Brannigan is away and clear for the United States, and he is on the way to a 3rd 1500 meters world title out of 4 championships. Toda in 2nd, And I think it's Pereira who's coming through in third. It was tight in the end. Bice up there as well. Brannigan championship record too. 350.44. That was good. Toda taking it. Lifetime best for the silver medal, 352.45. And Michael Brannigan pounced at the right time. Bice did indeed take the bronze medal in the end for Portugal, the former European champion. And Dieng couldn't quite do the double today, having claimed victory earlier in the week in the 800 metres. And Engelmes at one stage was up in the medals too. Fifth for him, but Toda, great display. Brannigan's your champion again though.
This is always such an exciting race, again, because you just can't predict it. And huge well done to Brannigan for reading that race right midway through. He went in expecting to have something a bit more pedestrian that would wind up and then hoping to come in with a sprint finish. However, he spotted the danger from Toda early and he realized, look, I'm gonna have to scrap that plan. I'm gonna have to make up the distance now. And huge well done to Toda, who went out the hard way, went out hard, and in the end ensured himself a silver medal. It is one of those events where they can't really go in with a set strategy. They're just going to have to react to whatever gets thrown at them during this race.
Mikey Brannigan, the native New Yorker from Huntington in New York State. It is his 5th world title all told. Taking this crown in Doha, defending it in London, winning the 800 with that. He actually did take it last year in Kobe. It was Rio in 2015. And Toda hit the front very, very early on in this and stayed out there. And with him for a long time was Pereira.
Yeah, Toda decided from the beginning we're going to run this hard. And he forced the rest of the field to respond. And Brannigan certainly did. He realized, look, if I stay back here, I'm not going to be in the hunt for the medal. So he invested a lot of energy early in that race, but it was the right move. He hauled himself up to the front and once again ensuring that he was there for that gold medal. But well done to Toda. It's a big thing to go out there, take the race on, and force it to play according to your strengths.
Very good championship debut for the 21-year-old from Japan. He does pick up a championship medal, and it's a good reward for him. It's not the gold that he thought it might have been. It's a great result for Portugal. Sandro Baeza, it's a 4th straight global games in which he's picked up a medal, and he started as a 19-year-old with that double gold at the Euros. Mikey Brannigan, the men's 1500 meters champion again. Championship record 350.44 for the United States. Toda silver for Japan, and Baeza the bronze for Portugal. Pereira, who was in line for a medal for a while, actually slipped back to 12th in the end.
Lots to catch up in the women's T47 long jump final. All of the top spots have been reshuffled in the short time it took for that 1500 meter race to take place. The leaders remain the same. Chiara Rodriguez, who started us off with a championship record of 6 meters 29. However, Petra Lutheran has taken herself into 2nd position with the season's best of 5 meters 73. Björk Normark is now in 3rd with 5 meters 70. And courtesy of a personal best, Paula Garcia Ramos is now in 4th position, 5 meters 69. So positions 2, 3, and 4, 573, 570, 569. That is how tight it is for those podium positions at the moment. And we should also mention Namishi Chakungal Parambil of India, setting an Asian record of 5 meters 58 with her first jump, and that has her sitting in 5th position at the moment. Hekavaria just waiting patiently for that runway to open up. The officials right now still working on that pit, making sure that it is smooth, making sure that there are no marks in it, so that the cameras that are used to take the measurements for the jump are able to do their job accurately. just 21 years old, but already competing in her 3rd World Championship. Finished 6th in Kobe last year. And while that was a fantastic display of long jump technique, unfortunately that is going to be a red flag for Hechavarria. Hechavarria, a 5 meters 37 jumper at her best. Now, she's currently sitting in 7th position. We have 12 jumpers in this field. And if you've been with us all week, you will know that this is a final within a final. So after the 3rd round, only the top 8 athletes will move on to take their final 3 attempts. So important within these first 3 rounds to find yourself on the right side of that 8th place cutoff. Chakungal Parambil of India. What a start to her competition, setting an Asian record of 5 meters 58, adding about 30 centimeters to her lifetime best. Chakungal Parambil is a T46 athlete, and in this competition you'll notice that we do have a mix of T46s and T47s. A 47 is an arm impairment below the elbow, 46 is an arm impairment above the elbow. And classification is a tricky thing. You'll see different events throughout the champs where the WPA has decided to separate out classifications. Sometimes they've made a decision to keep classifications together. And the short answer for that is classification is always going to be this difficult balance of fairness and practicality. Of course, you want to be able to split categories out as much as possible. However, you can't end up in a situation where you just have 3 or 4 athletes competing. There's always going to be a spectrum when it comes to classification, and you're always going to have athletes at different ends of it. And that is just the reality of parasport. Chakungal Parambil given the white flag. She's already had a huge personal best, an Asian record with that first jump. Came in with a personal best of 5 meters 26. Taking that now to the new Asian record of 5 meters 58. And she's done it again. 5 meters 63 on that attempt. 2 jumps, 2 Asian records.
Time now to head to the track. It is the opening heat of the women's 200 metres T11. In effect, it is a semi-final. In lane number 7, a lady who's already won gold in the 400 metres here at these championships, the leader Simplicio, silver medalist in Kobe last year at the World Paralympic Championships. Regina Dumbo of Angola, she was in the heats of the 100 metres, her lifetime best in this 26.97 seconds. And not starting, Linda Perez is out before this is gone, the gold medalist from Tokyo 2020, but this lady is there. Melissa Baldera, bronze in the 400 metres at these championships, one of 2 Peruvian medal winners, along with Neri Mamana Gespi, who took the gold medal in the women's 1500 metres. So 3 to go in this. Linda Perez, a non-starter from Venezuela. So being T11, it's complete visual impairment. A guide is compulsory. The tether will be set by the guide once the athlete has been placed in the blocks. You can see there in the background of Dumbo of Angola with her guide, Levonge, just helping her out. So complete silence required for the start of this event. They get just that, and they are away. It is the first place who goes through automatically, and then after that we'll have the next two fastest qualifiers, and looking very strong indeed. Regina Dumbo of Angola coming up on the inside shoulder, but she's now fallen away as Simplicio of Brazil, who's won gold in the 400 metres here, is around 2 or 3 metres in front, and she's going to cruise across the line and take the opening qualification place. 26:52 is the time for the leader Simplicio of Brazil. She looks to improve on that silver medal from last year at the World Paralympics Championships. 26:51 the time, which is given in the end. So it's well outside the World and Championship record mark held by Luku Quing, the reigning world champion, is not here at these games. 26:93 for Dumbo at the moment. Lifetime best for her. And Baldera 28:21. Will also occupy that second position at present, but a nice fluent run by the Brazilian.
And with enough room there to be able to slow down. The thing with the 200 meters for the T12 event, which is a complete visual impairment, it's one thing to guide somebody in a straight line, but to have to guide them around the corner at top speed, so much effort has to go into it with the guide, often using their body physically to help them around that corner, because as you know, if you touch that line, there is a disqualification.
Yeah, it's a skill all right. So 26:51, the leader Simplicio is guaranteed a spot in the final. Dumbo and Baldera, despite their personal best for Dumbo, they'll have to wait and see what happens in the second. Linda Perez, the 100 metres Paralympic champion from Tokyo 2020, did not start in this one.
We are joining the women's long jump T47 final at the top of the third round. Anora Sufieva taking her third attempt. She kicked off the first round with a jump of 4.80 meters. Now she's currently sitting in 9th position, which, as you know, at the end of this third round, there is going to be, well, we call it a cull, which sounds quite dramatic, and it is, because after those first 3 jumps, only the top 8 athletes are moving on, and right now, Sufieva is finding herself on the wrong side of that cutoff. She will need a jump bigger than 4.93 meters if she wants to get those final 3 attempts. 4.69 meters for that attempt. Sorry, 4.69 meters. So unfortunately, that will be the end of the competition for Sufieva. But what a fantastic way to debut at your World Championships for the 17-year-old with a personal best. Up next on the runway is Angdembe of Nepal. Now she finds herself in a similar position right now to Sufieva in that she currently has 2 fouls to her name. Now, if she registers another foul, unfortunately, she too will find herself at the end of her competition. And oh, you can just see so many struggles with that runway today. Her foot well over the takeoff zone. It's so hard as an athlete to be able to run full tilt at a long jump board and be accurate. Zhang Dengbae's World Championship debut. Also, she was just here to compete in the long jump. She waited all week for this. Just one of 2 athletes from Nepal. And even though at the moment this won't feel like the most positive of experiences, you can just see there the disappointment and the frustration. You just know the hard work that has gone into it, and sometimes it just doesn't happen on the day. And as a World Championship debut, I mean, it's a tough environment. There is a lot of pressure. You can just see she's putting everything into that, and just aware at the end that she's going to be over. But every long jumper at some point has experienced this, and yes, it's disappointing, but you learn from it and you move on and you come back even stronger. Yan of China currently sitting in 10th position. Again, her final attempt to see if she can haul herself into the top 8 and be given her final 3 jumps. And coming in with a personal best of 5 meters 23, well down on that at the moment. Smaragdi of Greece currently sitting in 8th position with a jump of 4 meters 93. 4 meters 61 will not be enough to do that. That is the end of Jan's competition in the long jump.
So we go to heat 2 of the women's 200 meters T11, complete visual impairment. So guides are mandatory in this. And again, it's the top 1, the winner going through to the final, plus the next 2 fastest. This woman has already claimed a big success, winning gold in the 100 meters. She is the reigning Paralympic champion in the 1 and the 2, having first medals in the 2 in Beijing in 08. Jerusa Geber and her guide, Gabriel dos Santos. In lane 5 for Mauritius, they, as always, have had a very good championships. Julia Sound and a guide, Jean-Eliot Lagalliard. In lane 3 for China, big success for the 19-year-old, her first major championship medal, silver in the 1 for Liu Yiming and a guide, Chen Wenqi. And we can say the same for the woman in lane 1, silver in the 4, her first major championship medal, for Juliana Moko of Angola and her guide, Abrao Sapolo. It was a surprise in the previous heat that Linda Perez did not come to the start line. It sort of feels like we've had a lot more of that than usual at these championships, curiously. So at the moment, Dumbo of Angola, 26.93, and Boldera of Peru, who've medalled for the first time at a World Championships here in para-athletics, 28.21 for her. That's the time to watch out for in terms of those who don't win. Well, Jerusa Geber, a real stellar career. 6-time world champion, 2 Paralympic golds. That brilliant double last year in Paris. So Moko in 1, Liu 3, Asound 5, Geber 7. Away they go. Solid start by Jerusa Geber on the outside in lane 7 with a guide, Gabriel dos Santos. The winner going through. Liu going quite well also, but in terms of lifetime best, Jerusa Geber is the faster. She might not be faster today. It's Liu out in front. That can change. Geber moving up. This is a big fight. Geber's going to take it. Geber 1, Liu 2, Moko 3. 25.20. It's much faster than the first semi-final. I think those 3 are all going through. And Jerusa Geber, 25.19. A season's best. Liu right behind. And Moko, well, she almost made it too. I would imagine also below 26. Well, 26.07. She makes it with a lifetime best. So the top 3 are in the final. Decent display from them all. And Liu really tested Jerusa Geber there. They were the 1-2 and the 100 meters. And Liu, who led for a good bit in the closing straight, just reeled in by Geber in the end, who had the advice from her guide Gabriel dos Santos, just speed up and we'll make it. And she did do that. She has the class. She can go over half a second faster than that. Liu really pushed up, and she was very close to a lifetime best herself there, the Chinese.
Interesting to see there that Geber and Liu, they made different decisions in terms of where the guide is going to be in terms of their placing. And even though Geber, she didn't have the best corner. She really had some work to do in this home straight. She was able to run a really aggressive corner with her guide DeSantos because he was able to make sure he was placed perfectly on that line. And I don't know if that was intentional or if it's simply a case of that is just what the athletes prefer rather than, oh, we're actually going to think about this in terms of the physics involved. But interesting to see the different decisions that have to be made for this category.
Juzageba makes it 25.19. She's in the final along with Liu Yiming and Juliana Moko of Angola. They all made it, and Julia Sound, well, not this time. Gebe, Liu, Moko and Talita Simplicio are the 4 who are in the final. The top 3 in the second semi, faster than the winning time in the first semi-final.
Back to the women's T47 long jump. Normark of Denmark on the runway for her 3rd round attempt. Getting some crowd action going. Now, just to quickly update you, Kira Rodriguez, who's currently winning this competition, courtesy of a championship record in the first round, has chosen to pass on her 3rd attempt, which is an interesting move. Sometimes that's simply to conserve energy. Sometimes it can hint at perhaps a bit of a niggle. Hopefully it's the former. Normark currently sitting in 3rd position with 5 meters 70, just 3 centimeters off Lutheran at 5 meters 73. Normark had an excellent display in the 200 meters yesterday, qualifying 1st in her heats, going straight through to that 200 meter final, which will be on Sunday. We all know now how important speed is on this runway. 5 meters 63, that will not improve her position at the moment, but we are still only halfway through. Everything can change in the final rounds when it comes to a field event.
Just a quick update on the men's javelin throw F54 as well. There are 3 competitors in. Iran's Ali Bazayashorje leads with a championship record 32-24, around 5 gold medals already at these World Para-Athletics Championships. Could they be on course for a 6th?
Lefsante wins the shot put.
Hechavarria of Cuba taking her 3rd round attempt. Unfortunately, that is going to be a foul. However, fortunately for her at the moment, she is sitting in 7th position. She had a 1st round attempt at 4 meters 97, a foul in round 2, foul in round 3, which is not ideal because after the end of this round, only the top 8 athletes will be moving forward. You can see there, athletes must jump behind that blue colored marker, otherwise the jump is considered to be a foul. You can see just the frustration there. It is so frustrating as an athlete when you know you have that big jump in you and you just aren't able to express it in that moment. But she'll have to wait a few more jumps to see if she is going to get an additional 3 jumps and hopefully find a way to sort out that runway. So some frustration there for Hechavarria, but what a competition Chakangal Parambil is having at the moment. Back-to-back Asian records. 5:58 in the first round, 5:63 in the second round. Currently sitting in 5th position. We talk a lot about the kind of impact a home championships can make. And it's huge. It's a big deal knowing that the crowd is there and they are cheering for you. And I have to say, I'm so impressed with Chakangal Parambil's technique. It's efficient. There's no wastage, there's no energy leakage. So many aspects of field events you can consider in terms of physics, and my goodness, she's gone and she's done it again. 5 meters 74. Not only is that another Asian record, she has now launched herself into 2nd position by just 1 centimeter over Petra Luteran of Hungary. And watch this. What I mean by there's no leaks in the system, to an extent, you can consider this a closed energy system. And all of that energy that you put in, it has to go somewhere. And the worst thing is that you want it to leak, whereas best case scenario, all of that is being converted into horizontal distance. And that's something that Chekungal Parambi does very, very well. What a result right there for Wickramasinghe. She was sitting in that difficult, awkward position, being in the third round with 2 fouls. Had she failed to register a mark there, that would have been the end of her competition, but she's given herself hope. At the moment, 8th position, sits at 4 meters 93. She needs a jump bigger than 4 meters 93 to carry on. And she does it in style, 5 meters 36. Now, just to put that into context, to be in a hugely pressurized situation and deliver not just a safe jump, but to come out with the kind of confidence that allows you to deliver a personal best. What a competitor. She's bought herself another 3 jumps. What can she do in the coming rounds? Now, Smaragdi has just seen herself knocked down into 9th position. If she doesn't respond here, it's the end of her competition. It's a valid jump. It will be measured, but it will need to be further than Hekabaria's jump of 4 meters 97. Can she find those extra centimeters? Smaragdi, one of the most experienced competitors here. She made her world champs debut back in Christchurch in 2011 as a 16-year-old, but she's never taken a global medal. Oh, and at 4 meters 90, it will not be enough. That is the end of Smaragdi's competition. She will have to wait again to see if she can finally get that elusive medal on the global stage. Now, this is the end of our 3rd round. So what will happen now is the judges will reorder the athletes, and we'll be back to find out the conclusion.
Men's javelin throw F54. That is Edgar Fuentes of Mexico. He's the reigning world champion. That was his first throw. He's just got into the seat and he's just getting himself organised. It's Ali Bazayashorjeh of Iran who leads the way. Championship record of 32.24 for the Iranian. 3 athletes have gone so far. Neutral para-athlete Ivan Ravenko with European record with his 2nd attempt of 31.68. And Ladislav Kukran of Slovakia, a season best 27.51 with his 4th attempt, leaves him in 3rd position at the moment. There are 7 athletes in total going in this one, including Justin Pongsavan, the world record holder of the United States and the Parapan American Games champion from 2019. He'll go after Fuentes, who's now had his practice throws. He's got himself ready. We should just about be set for him to go. All 6 attempts taken at the same time in the seated throw event. He'll take his first 3, and then he'll get to have a rest and a drink and just reassess where he's at, reposition if need be, and then go again.
Little portmanteau earlier. Isuntele Nyante, congratulations again on winning the women's shot put F12. 14.44, Zhao Zhuping, the silver for China, and a first global medal for Lydia Church for Britain. 12.60, the woman from Peterborough, European silver previously, and now World Championship bronze medalist in that women's shot put F12.
Well, you missed nothing then, because Fuente's first attempt was given as a foul. Silver medalist last year at the Paralympic Games. He has some work to do as the reigning world champion. Even if that mark had have been given, he'd have been at a good 4 or 5 metres off the leading throw so far of Ali Bazayashorje of Iran. So a foul with his opener. India have an athlete going in this competition as well. Pradeep Kumar will be the last of the 7 to go. So home hopes resting with him. So just a readjustment here for Fuentes. I suggest his first foul was given for movement of his backside. So you have to make sure your buttocks are tight to the cushion that's on that chair there. Each athlete with their own particular type of chair. Measurements have to be met. And this, the second he's ready to go now, is the Mexican. 31 years of age. And that is out over the 30-metre mark. That's much better if the mark is given. White flag, so it is a legal throw. So the slight adjustment that he made to his seatbelt then. The judge behind, you can see, seems to be happy with it. And we will have a mark. So that should lift Fuentes into the medal positions. 30.45, that is a season best, and does take him up into the bronze medal position at the moment behind Ivan Revenko, neutral para athlete, who is sitting in silver with that European record of 31.68. So still a bit of distance to make up, but he's on track for a medal at present. He's the silver medalist from last year, the reigning world champion from Kobe last year. Well, that one might be even better. Looks like it's gone further. It might be up around the 31-metre mark, that. Just having a brief look at it. He'll get to have a rest now anyway and readjust and reassess his position. So as we wait for that there, Fuentes is in third position. Updates on that throughout the course of the coming next half an hour or so. But it's the men's 100 metres T52 opening round of 2 in this one. Man who's fifth in the 400 metres here at these championships in the Philippines. Gerald Manglawan will go in lane number 3. His lifetime best of 18.65. Season best of just 20.48. So a bit of work to do. Major competitions do bring out the best in people inevitably. Marcus Perrin-O'Daly, silver medalist last year at the Paralympic Games. He tried both wheelchair boxing and rugby as well. He was on a BBC series by Idris Elba, the Idris Takeover, where he talks about how he found boxing after a serious accident. He goes in lane number 4. Jeong Jong Dae, who made his debut back in 2017 at London, will go in lane number 5. A man who is 61 years of age, he's got 12 global medals, including a 4th place position here, just missing out the 400 metres. He was silver last year in Kobe. It is Salvador Hernandez of Mexico in lane 6. The man who holds 3 Australian records, 2 Oceanic records, is Sam McIntosh of Australia in lane number 7. Bronze medal already for that man there, 62 years of age. He took the 400 metre bronze here at these championships, 16 global medals overall. It is Ito Tomoya of Japan in lane 8. So the first 3 qualify through to the final. Then the next 2 fastest qualifiers will go through after both heats have been completed.
On your marks.
Opening round,
Set.
100 metres, T52. Away they go, and fastest of all was Salvador Hernandez. He flew out the box, but just have a look at Marcus Perrin-O'Daly there on the far side. He is now up in first position. He is reaching up to Salvador Hernandez. Perrin-O'Daly's going to take it. He's made it first, and he's going to be the Mexican Hernandez second, and Sam McIntosh, I think, has got third position for Australia. So those are the 3 that will go through. 16.97 the time for Perrin-O'Daly of Great Britain. Silver last year in the Paralympic Games. He looks for a World Championship gold in this one. Hernandez does take it 17.38. The 61-year-old Mexican goes through second. McIntosh in 17.41 takes the automatic third place position. Maxim Caravan, the World Paralympic champion, has been reclassified to T53 now, so that man there will fancy his chances of picking up a first global gold medal. Marcus Perrin-O'Daly. Ito in 4th position at the moment, sits in one of those hot seats, but it is Perrin-O'Daly, Hernandez and McIntosh who are definitely through.
Well, you've been with us for 8 days now, so we're going to get a little bit technical, and this is interesting because if you were paying attention at the start, you'll notice that Salvador Hernandez was using soft gloves, the only one of the athletes to use soft. The rest were using hard. And there's been a little bit of discussion. You get a little bit of a glimpse of it there. You can see the large black soft gloves on Hernandez in the green, just to the left of your screen there. And the thing with the 100 meters is that accuracy matters. If you miss a push, even one, you go all the way down, and soft gloves tend to be more accurate. Going straight from the track right back to the women's long jump, which is happening in the opposite direction to those 100-meter sprints. Now, the leaderboard for this competition has been changing with every single round. At the moment, Bjørk Normark of Denmark currently sitting in 4th position with a best of 5.70 m. This is one of her strongest events. She won the bronze medal in Paris, but with an absolute monster of a jump from Shakungal Parambil of India, who has really mixed up this order here. She finds herself in 4th position, and she will remain there for now with a jump of 5.60 m, which does not improve her position. Up next will be Petra Lutheran, already on the runway. Such an incredible story. She was a high jumper at a Division I university, competed for the University of Nebraska, and then had an accident where she lost part of her arm. Now, interestingly, in para-athletics, there is no high jump event for the women, just for the men. And so she's had to reinvent herself as a long jumper and doing an excellent job at the moment. I guess there are some similarities between the takeoff for the long jump and the high jump. Unfortunately, that jump is not going to improve her position. There are some similarities. Obviously, the biggest difference here being the takeoff angle. In both of those jumps, you want to build up the speed, but obviously when it comes to high jump, the takeoff angle is a little bit more severe. But on that replay, you get a sense of the kind of height that Lutheran can generate. What a competition is happening at the moment for Shakungal Parambil. Now, if you looked at this field ahead of time, you would have expected her to do well, but she would not have been on your card for the medalists. But she has come out, and with every jump so far, she has reset the Asian record and found herself in 2nd position in this incredibly competitive field. You can hear the shouts around the stadium at the moment. Okay, now on that one, you just get the sense that there was a little bit of reaching going on, which is understandable. You can understand that she's trying really hard at this stage, wanting to keep that record of a new Asian record on every single jump. a really strange thing when it comes to sprinting and long jumping. 5 meters 10, that's not going to be an improvement. You have to find this balance of maximum power with maximum relaxation. It's really tricky to do.
Heat 2 of the men's 100 meters T52. It's the second most impaired of the wheelchair racing categories in the 50s. And in this, we have the 7-time world champion, Tomoki Sato of Japan, the world and Paralympic bronze medalist, Leonardo Perez, the reigning Pan Am champion from Canada, Anthony Bouchard. So Ito has taken some major golds too. But in lane 3 for Mexico, 4 world championship medals in his time, a silver and a bronze for Leonardo Perez of Mexico. In lane 4 for Canada, the reigning Pan Am champion, 4th in the 100 meters at the Paralympics in Paris last year, Anthony Bouchard. In lane 5 for Japan, his 400 meters triumph here in New Delhi, his 7th world title. He claimed gold in the 4 and the 15 in the Tokyo Paralympic Games. Tomoki Sato in 5. In lane 6 for Switzerland, silver in the 100 meters 2 years ago in the Euros, in the World Championships in Paris, and silver in the Euros in Bydgoszcz, Fabian Blum. In lane 7 for Japan, former Asian Games, World and Paralympic champion, Tetsuya Ito. And Sweden's championship debutant goes in lane 8. He went out in the heats of the 400 meters. This is Jonathan Torsell. He was an enduro racer before an accident. He's won the Stockholm Marathon.
On your marks.
That's endurance. This a little bit faster, the 100 meters, a bit shorter anyway. Perez in 3, Bouchard 4, Sato 5, Bloom 6, Ito 7, Torsell 8, and it's the top 3 and the next 2 fastest who'll go through.
Set.
Away first time. Nice start by Ito in 7, and also Bloom alongside for Switzerland, and Bouchard for Canada is beginning to move up a bit now, the Pan Am champ from Quebec. It's Sato's on the way along with him. Bouchard and Sato the 1-2, and maybe Bloom can make it as well. That'll be the 1-2-3. Well, Ito might make it as the next fastest boy, but 16:76 is the winning time on the line. Bouchard giving it championship record, beating the mark of Raymond Martin back 8 years ago. How about that for a speedy Saturday morning? Sato was inside it as well. 100th of a second between them ultimately. It's a lifetime best as well by 1200s for Bouchard. That's worth celebrating from his point of view. Sato 12:79, Bloom there as well in 3rd, and Ito 17:48 has just squeezed through along with Perez. So the top 5 actually in that are into the final, and Torsell in 6th with a lifetime best as well.
Anthony Bouchard of Canada right there describes himself as a late starter, and he was there competing in Paris in 2023, and he came away and he, after his first time, was surprised at how hard it was. He said everybody on YouTube and on TV made it look so easy. And I think what a great reflection, because sometimes we watch these events and you think, oh, it's easy, you just hop in a chair and you go, and it's not. So much is involved, just from things like seating position, how to put your body into that chair in order to get maximum power out of it, and then you have to consider what kind of gloves you're going to use, what kind of equipment. This is not an easy thing to master.
Bouchard takes it. 16:78, Sato, Bloom, Ito and Perez all into the final. And Torsell, well, he does get that lifetime best. Bouchard the fastest, along with Sato, Marcus Perno Daly. They're all under 17 seconds.
We're joining back with the women's T47 long jump final. For the first time, we have not yet had a change in our top athletes. Now this is one of the strongest events for Normark, but at the moment she finds herself down in 4th position. just off the bronze medal by 3 centimeters. But it looks like she is happy with that one. We'll just wait for that mark to come up, or perhaps I am reading that expression wrong. Always difficult to tell and to know exactly what athletes are thinking. That's why she's so happy. 5 meters, 84. Well, I said we've had no changes, and of course now we have a massive change. With that jump, Normark has launched herself up into silver medal position. Chakungal Parambil, who has been setting Asian records all over the place, is now in bronze medal position, and Petra Lutheran has been pushed out of the medals. It's a real skill in the field events to know how to build and learn from each jump on each round. Now Lutheran has just seen one of those medals slip from her fingers. What will her response be? It's been a really difficult champ so far from Lutheran. Not gone as she would have wanted. Slipped in the blocks on the 100, 7th in the 400 meters, well down on her personal best. Stopped running in the 200 meters. After about 20 meters. But this here is one of her strongest events. And at the moment, she is just off that bronze medal by 1 centimeter. 5 meters, 98. She watched that medal get taken for her. She came back with a massive response, European record. My goodness, what is going on down there with this long jump pit? That's what it looks like to put all that frustration from all those events earlier in that week into a performance. Now, after all of that, Chakungal Parambil, who was sitting in the silver medal position at the start of this round, is now suddenly down to 4th position. Can she respond as well? And I'm not sure that there is going to improve her position either way. That is a foul. And this just gives you a sense of the way things can change at any moment in the field events. A completely different leaderboard than we started this round with, and that's exactly what you want to see at the world stage. My goodness, that was a close call on that foul board there. You want to see these athletes exchanging positions. You want to see them pushing them to their limits. This is what inspires those incredible performances that we love to see at the World Championship level.
That's an interesting one there, because when we saw that side on the shot, it almost looked like it wasn't a foul. So perhaps she might even have a challenge on that one. Have a look.
Well, the good news is that we do have all of those jumps, all of those takeoff boards recorded. So yes, an athlete is well within their right to ask to see the replay. However, even if that one was then given, I don't think it's going to improve on the Asian record that she set in the 3rd round at 5 meters 74. But it's going to be so hard at this moment for Chakungal Parambil. She already knows that she is well beyond any sort of territory she's ever been in her life, and you can see how hard she is trying to get back up there into that medal. But sometimes when you start trying too hard, you lose that pop.
Well, here's the world record holder in the men's javelin throw, F54. That is Justin Pongsavan of the USA. A foul with his opening attempt. That one out near the 30-meter mark. We saw just a few moments ago, it was Edgar Fuentes, who's the world champion. But he's in 3rd position after his 3 attempts, a season best for him in 36.3, which leaves him in 3rd position. Championship record for Iran's Ali Bazariashojay, who is in 1st spot. Ivan Revenko, the neutral para-athlete, a European record, is in 2nd spot. So 2 fouls first up for the world record holder, Justin Pongsavan, as we head back to the long jump.
We are now in the final round of the women's T47 long jump final. The medals will be decided here. You can see there, Hekavaria having a little bit of trouble finding the right side of that takeoff board since that 1st round. 4 meters 97 was enough to keep her in that top 8 and buy her an extra 3 jumps. She has gotten the white flag on that occasion. 5 meters 25. It is an improvement on that first round attempt, but she will remain in 8th position. We've been bouncing around between different field events, and you can pretty much describe every field event as an example of projectile motion. But in the throws, the projectile is the implement, whereas in the long jump, the athletes themselves become the projectile. Rick Ramasinga having a fantastic competition herself. Personal best in the third round, 5 meters 36, after struggling with 2 fouls in the early rounds. She will not improve with that 6th round attempt, but she has matched her 7th place finish that she did in Kobe back in 2024. Ngusu Ngoyi of France already had a fantastic competition here, finishing 3rd in the 100 meters. Oh, you just got a sense there of a little bit of a stutter step as she headed into that board. Not ideal, because the whole point of that runway is to build up as much speed as possible. And when you have that little stutter step there, you're just taking away from that speed. Just 16 years old, Ngusu Ngoyi. Plenty of time to work on that runway and find a way to put that fantastic speed that we know she has to use in this long jump. Early in the competition, Paula Garcia Ramos was within the medals. But as you've seen, it can all change with every round, and at the moment she is sitting in 5th position. 5 meters 69, a personal best. But to get on to that podium, it will take a jump greater than 5 meters 84. Shoes off, already dumping out the sand that built up in those shoes. Unfortunately, one of the realities of being a long jumper is that you will find sand everywhere. That jump coming up is 5 meters 47 for Garcia Ramos. She will remain in 5th position. For Chekungo Parambil, what a competition she's already had. 3 Asian records in a row, finding herself in 2nd position at one point in this competition. She has done so well already. This competition for her, an absolute triumph, but she has been so close to the medal. Can she haul herself back onto that podium? Oh, that was definitely a better jump there from Chekungo Parambil. You can just see the elegance in her technique. It's so neat, it's so efficient. All of that energy being directed exactly where she wants it to go. She was given the white flag there, 5 meters 45. It will not be an improvement. She will stay in 4th position, but what an incredible competition for Chekungo Parambil, setting 3 different Asian records in a row, adding a huge chunk onto her lifetime best at the most important competition for her of this year. Which means we now know who our medalists are. Normark of Denmark in 3rd position with a big 5th round attempt at 5 meters 84, enough to haul herself into medal contention. She has a little bit of breathing room on this attempt, knowing she's in the medals, but can she improve on that? Silver position currently sits at 5 meters 98. She has already jumped above her lifetime best. 5 meters 67 will not be enough. She will be the bronze medalist here at New Delhi 2025. And still another shot to come. We will be seeing her in the 200-meter finals on Sunday. Petra Lucharin, it's been a difficult competition for her, to say the least. Nothing has gone the way she wanted it to. However, when it came to the long jump, her favorite event, she was able to haul herself back into medal contention with a personal best when she needed it most. Oh, you can just see there the high jump pedigree that she brings to the long jump. Unfortunately, she will not be able to add to that new European record she set, 5 meters 98. But wow, what a way to come back in that 5th round when you are under pressure. Sometimes things will not always go right for you in a competition. It's the athletes that have the ability to channel all of that frustration, to take everything that they have learned and come out with a new European record and a silver medal for Petra Lucharin of Hungary. Now, I'm not sure that we are going to see another jump. Chiara Rodriguez has passed on all 4 of her final attempts. However, she is our winner with a championship record of 6 meters 29, which she did with that first round attempt. Now, she had a foul in her second round and subsequently chose to pass the next 4 jumps. Hopefully, that is just Rodriguez saving herself for the remainder of the competition. Hopefully it's not because there was an injury. Normark there of Denmark, celebrating that bronze medal. She was a bronze medalist from Paris, and she has improved every year that she has competed. She was 5th in 2023 Normark. She was 4th at the World Championships in Kobe. She was 3rd in Paris, and now she is 3rd once again at these World Championships. For Petra Lucharin, what a journey she has had. From a Division I high jumper at the University of Nebraska, 2 years after graduating in a car accident where she lost part of her arm. She then had to reinvent herself as a long jumper because high jump is the only event not offered for women at the World Para-Athletics Championships. But reinvent herself she has. Lots of similarities between the high jump and the long jump. Obviously the biggest difference being the takeoff angle. But as Lucharin has shown, that's an easy fix. And there we go now in center of frame, our world champion, Chiara Rodriguez, just 22 years old from Ecuador. She took her first world title back in 2019 as a 16-year-old and hasn't looked back. Now in 2019, she won it in 5.52 meters. However, her world record now stands at 6 meters 47, set earlier this year in May, almost a meter further from where it was in 2019.
Women's shot put F35 final. He's moving along. Interesting that for Chiara Rodriguez. Yeah, she's now got gold in the 100 meters and long jump team 47. She goes in the 200 meters semi-finals tomorrow morning, so perhaps she was saving herself for that to go and go for the treble at these championships.
Yeah, we're in the early exchanges of this. Maria Pomazan, who holds the championship record from Doha back in 2015. A big battle between her and Wang Jun as usual. Wang with the world record going back to, well, a long time. Rio 2016. Now, Oksana Corso in this F35, she was a brilliant champion sprinter for very many years over the 100 and the 200. Then a whole load of new names came along, and now she is a thrower. It's great to see her back in the sport, by the way. But it's interesting that she's converted from being an out-and-out sprinter to now being an out-and-out thrower. So the current situation, Maria Pomazan leads it, 11.92, her opening round throw. Wang Jun, the silver medal spot, 10.43 in this second round. And Anna Nicholson of Great Britain, currently in third spot, 9.38. Well, coming up here for Poland, it's Klaudia Malashevska. 8.81 is her lifetime best. That's heading out beyond 8 meters. She's certainly in fifth, though. 8.33 is her current spot.
If you are wondering about the women's 400 metres T38, the two heats were due to get underway at 10:23 and 10:30 local time. They've been moved back slightly, so the first one now taking place at 10:45, so in about 15 minutes.
Well, that's 8.33 again, matched her opening round attempt, and that has her in fifth spot. So there are 7 in this. They'll get all their throws in. F35 being the most impaired of the standing coordination impairment. Maria Pomazan's lead is 1.5 meters right now over Wang Jun. They were the 1-2 last year. Actually, I'll tell you, the 1, 2, 3, 4 right now, that is the same order as last year's Paralympic Games final in Paris. So Daria Ivanova's got a lot to do then. She's in 6th spot, 7.85. 8.41 her lifetime best. That's a bit closer to 8 maybe. The lifetime best is about 1 meter shy of where Anna Nicholson is at the moment. That's a championship record from Pomazan from Doha is 13.05, and she's quite a bit off that, and Wang Jun is way behind her world record, but obviously those are one-offs. Ivanova, 7.74, good consistent set of marks, only 22 centimeters between her 3 attempts to date. Now Anusova, 8.56 in the opening round, and no throw in the second. She's just around 80 centimeters off the top 4. Her lifetime best coming in the Paralympic Games final last year. She's a 9.18 thrower, which again would have her a shade off the medals, so to get into it she's going to have to add 20 centimeters to the throw of her life. It's doable. Sova 8.56 in round 1, 8.52 here. Well, it is consistent. But here is Wang Jun, last year's silver medalist, and by quite a margin behind Pomazan. .10.43, season's best in the second round. 13.91 her lifetime best from Rio, which was quite a while ago. There's no line beyond the 8 meters, even though there are quite a few who in this field have gone beyond 10 in their time. .10.20. It's not an improvement, but all their marks so far have gone beyond that 10-meter line. So next up for Great Britain, Anna Nicholson, and what a major improvement, by the way, from her previous Paralympic Games in Tokyo. She was down the field around 7th. She's 30 now, shot up to bronze. Great result for her in Paris a year ago. 9.38 in the second round, and it looks to be about the same mark. She did finish 4th in the World Championships in Paris 2 years ago. From Cumbria originally, from Brampton. That's 9.02, not an improvement. She stays in bronze. Maria Pomazan. Regular champion, certainly this decade. 3-time shot put world champ. 3-time Paralympic champion. And with Wang Jun just being a little bit off form at the moment, she's taking a good advantage right at the top of it. 11:55. Each of her throws would have been enough for the lead so far. Showing good dominance is the 37-year-old. It's her birthday in a couple of weeks. She could have something good and golden to enjoy with it. So Oksana Corso, I have to say it is great to see her back. We saw her as a sprinter in World Championships up to 2019. She did the double in the 1 and the 2 in Lyon in 2013, had done that at the Euros in 2012, and then all of a sudden the scene changed majorly. Silver in the 1 and the 2 in the Paralympic Games. Those are only Paralympic medals to date. For a bit of calm. Well, 7:09, that's not bad going. She's a 7:93 thrower. Nalashevska on the way back, 8:33 with her first 2 attempts. 8:81 her lifetime best, 8:63 her season's best. Not that far off track. Can she add to it on this Saturday morning? It's about the same mark, really.
There's a good story brewing as well in the men's javelin throw, F54, that's seeded event. The world champion, Edgar Fuentes, is down in 5th despite a season's best. The world record holder is in 4th position, so he'll be out of the medals. Ivan Revenko, the Paralympic champion, a European record, he's 2nd and silver at the moment. And Iran's Ali Baziyashorjay is currently the championship record holder in 1st position. There is 1 throw left for Irfan Bondori, and there is Pradip Kumar of India to round out that. So the world record holder and the current world champion out of the medals already.
Well, prospects that we may get to see a little bit of that subsequently. Malashevska, 8:47. She stays in 5th spot. But yeah, just briefly about Oksana Corso. As I say, it's wonderful to see her back. It's her first World Championship since 2019. And she emerged in 2012. We saw her do the double at the Europeans and the Paralympic Games, and then subsequently the World Championships. And then Maria Lyle comes along, does that 2015, and then Isis Holt comes along and does that herself. And it was almost as if every year somebody new and glorious came along in that 100 meters T11. Isis Holt has subsequently retired, concentrates on universities. Done a little bit of TV as well. And then Zhao Xiao emerged to do the double in Rio in 2016. It was almost every single year somebody new came along. It's evidently a school's morning. The more the merrier. They did that in Kobe, and I thought it was absolutely fantastic because we had just thousands and thousands every single morning and a brilliant atmosphere. So we reached the halfway point, and there was women's shot put F35, the standing coordination impairment. And Maria Pomazan still leads, 11:92 for Ukraine. Wang Jun, the silver spot, 10:43. And Anna Nicholson, silver, bronze, should I say, in the shot last year in Paris, is 3rd right now. The same top 4 in that order as a year ago at the Paralympic Games. Maria Pomazan, so used to major in the discus and won a couple of world titles in that. Between the shot and the discus, 5 world crowns. Oksana Corso back again. More than welcome in being so. And she's still only 30. It's worth pointing that out. When she was an ace sprinter and very much at the top of the sport on the track, she was 17, 18. You may remember the story. She was born in St. Petersburg and then adopted by the Corso family at the age of 3, grew up in Italy, and found herself in a really, really competitive field on the track. She was still winning medals as recently as 2019. Silver and bronze it was in Dubai, and I mean COVID hit, and obviously that affected a lot of people's lives. 765 for Corso there. That's brilliant. It's very close to a lifetime best from this year, 793. It affected a lot of people's careers. Hold that thought for a second. Ivanova on the way, the neutral athlete. It's worth pointing out that for a lot of athletes who say career, it's not a paid career for very many. Certainly doesn't pay a huge amount. The rewards are not great. It's about the training and the dedication and the glory of the medals. There are some countries where you can make a living from it, but not all. .813, well, that's a big improvement for Ivanova. She stays in 6th spot, but she increases her lead over Oksana Corso. This is Klaudia Malashevska. It's just shy of 8 meters, and that's the first one in which she's not been able to go beyond that mark. Some countries in which you succeed in this sport and you get yourself a big name. Poland is one of those. Malashevska most recently taking bronze in the Europeans that were held in Bydgoszcz 4 years ago. Still very many wondering about whether there will be a Europeans next year. That will be announced in due course one way or another. Leo Pekatati, the great wheelchair racer, the sprinter, the flying Finn. Now, he's not competing here. He is here as a coach, but he says if there is a Europeans next year, he wants to compete in it. He's looking after a good few athletes here. And Alexova, who won silver in the most recent Euros in 2021 behind Pomazan. Solid throw. Nicholson actually finished 4th, incidentally, in those Euros, and really has not looked back. Alexova, 9:03, that's the best of the day. So 3 of the 4 attempts we've seen in this 4th round have been best attempts. So for the next 3, Pomazan, Wang and Nicholson, prospects of something a little bit better maybe. Nicholson comes now. 9:38, her second attempt. That's only 9 centimeters off her lifetime best for Britain. Speaking of which,
Britain precise for Australia goes this major championship debut for her. Also Karen Palameke, Paralympic and world champion. We're going in lane number 5. First heat of 2 in the women's 400 metres team. Lindy who was a bronze medalist in Paris last year at the Paralympic Games, silver in Kobe at the World. She was the Paralympic champion in Tokyo 2020. She'll go in lane number 8. Chen Zima, 24 years of age, lifetime best of 101.51. She'll go in lane number 7 for China. Sophia Pace of France, she was 8th in the Paris final last year at the Stade de France. She'll go in lane number 6, and she'll have to show some pace because she'll be next to Karen Palameke, who's the current Paralympic and world champion from Colombia. 3 Paralympic medals, 10 World Championship medals. She took bronze in the long jump here already, silver in the 100 metres of these championships, and gold in the 200 metres. This, her 4th event at these games. And the 17-year-old from Arnhem Land in the Northern Territory in Australia, Precise Britain, coached by Robert Chin. She's one of 5 Indigenous teams representing Australia at these championships. 3 of them are in the 2 heats coming up, this and the second one. So it is the first 3 who will automatically go through to the final. Next 2 fastest to advance as well. So in effect, this is a semi-final number 1 with his second one coming up afterwards. So the champion from Tokyo 2020, Lydia, out in lane number 8. Paralympic and world champion Karen Palamake in lane number 5. She has 3 medals already at these championships. She hits away very well indeed, as does Lydia on the outside. So 1 complete circuit of the track to do. They've gone around about 150 metres so far, and it is Palamake who's looking very strong in lane number 5. Remember, there are 3 who automatically go through, and the next 2 fastest to advance across the 2 heats to the final. So it is all to play for, no matter whether you finish in those top 3 positions or not. Now Palamake, as they come round with about 150 metres to go, has taken the lead. Lindy Arve on the outside, just tightening up somewhat. This is the coordination impairment category, the least of coordination impairment, but it can hit you as you head down that final 100 metres. So it is Palamake who's out in front. Chen Zimo, the 24-year-old from China, is currently in 2nd position. Lydia fading a little bit towards the end, but she's going to go through and pick up a 3rd spot. Palamake takes it. 59.57 is the time. She is 0.1 seconds outside her own championship record. She takes it in 1st place, a season best for Palamake. The top 3 will be Chen going through, as well as Lydia Arve in 2nd and 3rd. So Arve takes a season best in 2nd, just beating out Chen, who lightened up towards the end. She's 3rd. They're the automatic qualifiers who go through. It's a new Asian record, by the way, for Chen as well. Season best for Lydia Arve. So pace of France sits in the hot seat at the moment. 1:02.27 was her time coming through. And Precise Britain, the young 17-year-old from Arnhem Land, the Northern Territory. First major championships for her. She is currently in the 2nd hot seat position, a lifetime best, by the way, 1:04.18.
I think Palamake would have been very happy there with her lane draw. On paper, she was the fastest, but taking it easy in a 400 meters does not mean that you get to start out slow. You have to go out hard and then see if you've earned yourself the right to shut it down on that home straight. And by benefit of being in that lane 5 with her top competitors on the outside, she had full view of everybody in that heat. You see there just how casually she comes across the line. She waved to the crowd and she very swiftly exited and has gone to recover for that final.
So Palamake, Arve and Chen are the 3 that go through. Season best for the top 2. Asian record there for Chen. Sophia Pace is in the 4th position and hot seat at the moment, as is Precise Britain, a lifetime best for the youngster, 1:04.18. They will now have to watch on for heat number 2 to see if they have a place in the final.
Decent crowd for the morning, for the week. By these championship standards. And ain't it just the way women's shot put was talking about all those improvements that had come in round 4, and then Anna Nicholson, after mentioning her lifetime best, went and threw another one, 9:58, and she is into the bronze medal position by over half a metre now behind Pomazan 1 and Wang Jun in 2.
And the men's javelin throw F54 final, they're into the final competitor. This is a seated event, so all 6 throws taken at the same sitting. Pradeep Kumar of India is currently in 7th position. He's the last to throw in that. Now, Ivan Rebenko, who is the Paralympic champion, well, he, with the European record, is in 2nd position, though. The world champion, Edgar Fuentes, is out of it altogether. He's finished 5th at the moment. Justin Pongsavan of the USA, the world record holder, is 4th, so he's out of the medals. And it's Ali Bazayashorjay of Iran with a championship record of 32-24, who currently occupies the gold medal position. So Pradeep Kumar has some work to do. He's thrown 24.93, 24.96. The bronze medal position is currently 31.23. So he is going to have to go with something epic if he's to get up there. At the moment, there's Bazayashorjay of Iran in the gold medal position. Ivan Rivenko, the neutral para-athlete, with a European record, and the Paralympic champion with silver, and Irfan Bondori of Iran in 3rd position. So it could be an Iranian 1 and 3.
So let's give you a qualification for the women's long jump T20. This is the intellectual category, and we have got 5 who are going in this. We'll be having a view of this as the afternoon goes on, but first,
women's 400 metres T38, heat number 2. We just saw the opener a moment or two ago. 5 are set to go in this one. So a slight bit of cloud, but looking rather nice still here in the Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium. It is day number 8 of 9. So the penultimate day after this session. We'll have 3 more sessions left. Ilgun Metin of Turkey, 18 years of age. She was silver in the long jump at these World Para-Athletics Championships. Now goes in the 400 metres T38 heats. She's in lane number 8. So Metin goes in lane number 8. Inside her in lane number 7 is Rhiannon Clark, who was 7th in the 100 metres here. She was silver in the World Paralympics Championships in Paris in 2023. She's also, quite aptly, 23 years of age, coached by Danny Kevin. She goes in lane number 7. A lady who has been around for a while, 11 global major championship medals. She was 7th in the 200 metres here. She's the world champion from Doha back in 2015. It is Margarita Goncharova, the neutral para-athlete, in lane number 6. Layla Sharp, the 3rd of the Australians taking part in these 2 heats of the women's 400 metres T38. First major championship, coached by Rob Marks, 17 years of age, from the Sutherland District Athletics Club in the Shire, south of Sydney. She's in lane number 5. This lady here is in lane number 4. Erica Esteban of Guatemala, 24 years of age. She made the heats in Tokyo and Paris in both those Paralympics in the women's 400 metres T38. So it is heat number 2. Women's 400 metres T38, the coordination impairment category, the least of the coordination impairment. The first 3 automatically head through to the final. The next 2 fastest across the first heat, and this one will also go through. 104.18 is the time of Precise Britain at the moment, and 102.27 was Sophia Pace of France. They're in the hot seat at the moment. So all the way, easily enough indeed, no issues there at all, and there's not much of a movement between those staggers at the moment. as they head around, but all of a sudden when I say that, it is Rhiannon Clark who moves up on Benton on the outside. Inside Rhiannon Clark, Margarita Goncharova. 12 global medals for the neutral para-athlete. She is in first position, just slightly in front of Rhiannon Clark, and then a little bit further back, Layla Sharp, another 17-year-old at her first majors, is doing her best to get around in third position, but Goncharova has just stretched out a little bit with 150 metres to go and just left Rhiannon Clark slightly behind her, a 23-year-old. So it is Goncharova as they head down to the final 100 metres. They will tighten up slightly towards the end of this one, the T38 coordination impairment athletes, but at the moment it's Goncharova who's out in front, and outside her Rhiannon Clark in second position, and Layla Sharp of Australia in third position. They'll be the ones who go through. So it is 101.37 for Goncharova. Rhiannon Clark through in second, and Layla Sharp in her first major championships qualifies for the final. Season best time for Goncharova. So Clark goes through 105.13 for her, a season best for Layla Sharp, the young 17-year-old in the first major championship for Australia. So that means that those times from the first heat were also quicker as far as qualification goes. So it will be 3 Australians into the final. Precise Britain and Sophia Pace of France are going to be the 2 that go through into the final. So a quicker second heat than the first. Goncharova, Clark and Sharp are the ones who go through into the showpiece event.
It's a bit of a statement run there from Goncharova. She didn't have to run it that fast, but part of me wonders if perhaps she's just testing herself ahead of the final and figuring out how exactly she wants to attack that and run that based on what happened here. But I'm very pleased for Rhiannon Clark. She was so disappointed to not make that 200-meter final, and she pointed out that the time she ran the 200-meter in at the World Championships 2 years ago would have had her finish 4th. Whereas in the 200 here, it had her finish 9th, and it is just a reminder that things are changing constantly in this category.
Indeed they are. Some things stay the same though. Goncharova is through to another final with a chance to make it a 13th global medal. Season best for her. Clark and Sharp of Australia in second and third go through. Benton and Esteban will miss out as the first heat was quicker. This is how it looks. So Palameke, top of the pile, season best time for the Paralympic and world champion. And there are 3 Australians going in it, 2 of them 17 years of age in Precise Britain and Layla Sharp.
So that's a bit more TV exposure for her. 5 going in qualification for the women's long jump T20. This is the intellectual category, and it is the top 4 out of these 5 who are going through to the final. 4 of these are making major championship debuts, and Ashley Telvav of Mauritius, she finished 14th in the long jump in last year's World Championship in Kobe. So we're going to watch a little bit of this later on, because we've got the women's shot put F35 reaching its big conclusion. So Maria Pomazan, 12:04 in the 5th round, going well clear of Wang Jun, and that is another world title for the brilliant Ukrainian thrower. That is her 8th world title, her 6th in the shot, to go with 2 in the discus. And Wang Jun is denied again. Solid throwing, and every single one of those 6 marks, including this one, which was her 2nd longest, 11.97, would have been enough to win her the gold. So Pomazan does that again. Absolutely supreme and dominant. The reigning world and Paralympic champion, reigning European champion as well, does it again. And Wang Jun ends up in 2nd spot. Dethroned from claiming this crown a year ago. And Pomazan wasn't involved. Eight world golds 11 globally for Maria Pomazan now. So we go to this long jump T20, and there are only 15 attempts in this because there are 3 rounds in qualifying, and Stepanenkova stepping through. 3:94 her opening attempt. 5:11 lifetime best for Im Jung-ji of Korea in the opening round. Semi-finalist in the 4. We've seen Florian Lanton as well on the track, finishing 8th in the 1500 meters final on Thursday night. And Stepanenkova in front. It doesn't actually matter who's in front of this, it matters who is in last place of these 5. And currently that is Ashley Telvav of Mauritius. Now, she did finish down the field a bit in the World Championships last year in Kobe, and she did do in Paris the year before when she was in 13th place. But we do tend to see her on the track as well. Mauritius, what a time for them. No, Amy Alphonse with back-to-back titles. And Philippe as well with their first ever Paralympic medal, having gotten their first ever male para-athletics medal the night after Noemi Alphonse did in Paris 2 years ago. And Brandy Perrine is making finals now. So they have a nice team. They have a lovely setup in Mauritius, as Kuto are going here 5:01 in the opening round on her championship debut at the age of 16. They're finding them. Fantastic how the new names continue to emerge. So this is the intellectual category. We'll see a lot more of these in the final, which will be tomorrow. Tonight's long jump final is the women's T11.
Just a quick update on that men's javelin throw F54 final as well, by the way. It's been won by Iran's Ali Bazayashorjay in a championship record of 32.24. The Paralympic champion Ivan Ravenko, the neutral para-athlete, European record for him of 31.68, but he does take the silver medal. Irfan Bondori has made a gold and a bronze. He took the bronze to Bondori, a lifetime best of 31.23. The world record holder, Justin Pongsavan of the United States, finished out of the medals in 4th. And Edgar Fuentes, who the world champion was coming into it, he finished in 5th.
Quick word about Assunta Lanyante, her 10th global title, 7th world crown, 3 Paralympics for the former European indoor champion in Birmingham in 2007 at the women's shot put F12. 14.44 she took it. Zhao 12.67, Church for Great Britain 12.60. The other youngster in this, Telvav, by the way, has a few African records on the track. 400 meters achieved in Dubai back in 2019. Now this is the other 16-year-old, along with Tatiana Kuto in this qualification. 4:45, she's in 5th because Telvav has gone to 4:49. Kuhacek, the great perennial champion, is the world record holder in this, 6:21 from Dubai 6 years ago. Let's see how she can make it up here. It's not 5 for Lantoine. 4:75 her lifetime best from this year, 30 centimeters short previously. Stepanenkova currently top of the pile as a neutral athlete, 5:12, so I think we can say she's safe. And Lantoine, she has moved back up to 4th, and that for now would put her into the final, and it's only Telvav's final attempt that would knock her back. 4:73 for Lantoine. So by mathematics, Kuto, Im and Stepanenkova are in the final. Im Jung-ji on a championship debut, 4th in the Olomouc Grand Prix in the Czech Republic back in July. That was the all-women's competition, which was a unique idea. And they'll keep on doing it, by the way, so it worked. Lifetime best for Im, opening round 5:11. It was 9 centimeters on top of what she's done before. She'll plant down at around 5 meters. So the important jump coming up is going to be Tel Aviv's, Steph. So just a quick thought about the T20 women's long jump, this being the intellectual category, and sort of the modifications that you would have in that.
So this is going to be a pressure-filled jump for Tel Aviv. Her coach will probably have let her know that, look, you need to jump further than 4 meters 73 in order to get into this final. And this is tough. You have 5 athletes right now jumping, and we're just going to lose one. This is a tough jump for Tel Aviv.
We move on to the men's 800 meters T34. Wheelchair racing, coordination, impairment. Top 3 to go through to the final. Some good racers in this. The 16-time world, 5-time Paralympic champ, Wally Katila of Tunisia. He's not medalled yet this week. Henry Mani, the 10-time European champion. And in lane 8 for the United Arab Emirates, well, he's finished 7th in the 100 meters here, 5th last year in Kobe. That is best global result for Ahmed Nawad of the UAE. In lane 7 for Finland, bronze on the 1 and the 4 last year in Kobe, 1 world silver and 6 bronze for the former Paralympic bronze medalist Henry Mani, being coached here by the great Leo-Pekka Tati. In lane 6 for Tunisia, silver in the Paralympics last year to go with his 5 Paralympic golds, 16 world titles, Walid Katila. In lane 5 for China, the defending world champion, Wang Yang. And in lane 4 for Australia, silvers in the 1 and the 4 here. He's now got 9 world medals, 6 Paralympic medals, none of them gold yet. But there's still this year, this weekend, for New South Wales and Australia's Reid McCracken. So it's the top 3 who will progress, plus the next 2 across the 2 semi-finals as they effectively are. So McCracken in 4, Wang Yang 5, Katila 6, Mani 7, being coached by Leo-Pekka Tati along with Esa-Pekka Matila and Jonathan Torcell, who we saw earlier. So 800 meters it is, McCracken, Wang Yang, Katila, Mani and Nawad, and the top 3 will progress. Austin Smeek with the world record, 1:35 from the Paralympics in Paris last year. We'll see him in a couple of minutes' time. Mohammed El Hamadi with the championship record going back to 2019. It's a good lead right now for Wang Yang. So went out in the heat of the semi-finals of the one really here, and it was bronze in the 8 4 years ago in the Paralympic Games. And Wang Yang moving up, McCracken there too, and there's been a bit of a split here, hasn't there? And we've lost a couple here who've had a little bit of a bash at the back. But right now it's Wang Yang and McCracken. There's the bell. So these are the 3 who look like going through. It was a little bit of a calamity behind. So Wang Yang leading. It's McCracken in 2nd spot. And in 3rd place, it's Katila. And Mani and Nawad have had a little bit of a mishap behind. And, well, not only will they not automatically qualify, they're going to be in a bit of trouble in terms of being the next best. And you would suggest that kind of changes how everybody is going to have a go in the 2nd semi-final. It's Wang Yang who's out in front. And Katila will take 2nd spot. He might want a little bit more. It's a good race for Katila here. Wang Yang, Katila, McCracken, the 1, 2, 3, and they make their way through into the final. They have progressed effectively. Championship record for Wang Yang as well, to beat the mark from Al Hamadi from 6 years ago, 1:40.12. That was fast. And Nawad is 4th and Mani is 5th. And outside 2 minutes in the end. And well, that was effective. They didn't have to worry in the end, Juan Catela or McCracken, about anything else that would happen in that race. And a championship record went very, very well indeed. 140.12 is 4 seconds inside the rest and the best. Yeah, big crash at the back, right at the back, that caused a massive problem for Manny and Nawad, and well, they'll do well not to be eliminated.
So the only hope that either Manny or Nawad have is if there is a review and it's determined that if one of them caused the accident, then the other one might be pushed through to the final. Hopefully we're going to get another look at this crash. So the two athletes involved are Manny in the navy blue stripe, and here it is just there. You just see a little bit pushing and shoving. These wheelchairs are difficult to control, and oh, that is a tough crash there. There is a reason why the athletes are wearing helmets. However, it may not be all over for Henry Manny there. It did look like he was not at fault. He got back up and he finished, and actually, if you recall earlier in the week, Thibaut Durat of France was in the end promoted to the 1500 meter final. So not all over yet. There's a reason why we have 9 lanes and 8 go into the final. So we'll have to wait and see if there is a protest there.
Happened behind Juan Catela and McCracken, and it was fortunate for them that that was the case, though it was right behind. It looked to me as if Manny was cutting inside, and then the collision between him and Nawad happened. And their times, I'm afraid to say, are not great as a result. And the other 5 who are coming up next, they don't really need to say anything to each other. Maybe not even a glance. I think we can work out the sort of race we're going to get. Or maybe it will be a properly run race, we'll see. But it's Juan Catela and McCracken who are going through, and Manny and Nawad are in big trouble as a result. Just a quick word about Ashley Telvav. Hers was the key final round jump in the T20 long jump qualification for women. 450, it was her best, it wasn't enough. So Valentina Stepanenkova, Im Young-ji, Tatiana Couto and Floriane Lantoine, they all progress. Ashley Telvav, unfortunately, does not. Nice practice run for the other 4. Sort of been an odd morning session in that we've only had the one track final, but I guess it tends to happen quite a lot towards the end of major world championships. Lots of finals tonight, heats action this morning. A bit of qualification that's happening for later field finals. Just tell you about the men's shot put F34 qualifying. We haven't seen it. We should see a bit of them in the final though. Abdul Rahman Abdul Kadir Viki of Qatar progressing. Menezes of Colombia, Horacek of Czechia, the Czech Republic, and Korolis Birkutis, Lithuania. They'll be in the final tomorrow. Powerful stuff.
And the final track event for this morning is Heat 2 of the men's 800 meter T34 rounds. And in this we have our gold and silver medalists from the Paris 24 Paralympics. Gold went to Austin Smink, silver went to Chairat Ratana. And we are going to see a rematch. Out in lane 8 we have Ali Arshid of Qatar. Now he finished 5th in the 100 meters, 4th in the 400 meters, so close to landing that first global medal. Just to his inside in lane 7, we have Mohammed Othman of the United Arab Emirates. Now we know that he also has some speed, already picked up a bronze medal in the 100 meters, however, a disqualification in the 400 meters for a lane violation. Just 21 years old, Othman. And in lane 6 for Canada, Austin Smink. He is the Paralympic champion in the 800 meters, and he is also the world record holder. Now, he was the world record holder in the 400 meters. However, that world record and that gold medal earlier this week went to the athlete just inside of Smink. And in lane number 5, that would be Chaiwat Ratana of Thailand. Now we know he has the speed. The question is, does he have the endurance to overhaul Smink in this event? He is the Paralympic champion in the 100 meter from Paris. He has already taken gold in both the 100 and 400 meters here, not to mention taking the world record as well. Rounding off this field in lane 4 for Mauritius, we have Roberto Michel, 4th in the 100 meters and 6th in the 800 meters. Now the athletes will likely be aware of what happened in that previous heat. It's very possible they all had a conference and said, look, if we all go fast, if we all work together, we can all guarantee a spot in that final. Or perhaps they've decided it is every man for himself and they are racing on their own. From the outside, Arshid Othman, Smink, Ratana, and Michel. Heat 2, 800. And we have a fair start. And as always, the question at the beginning of an 800 meters is who wants to take this on? Who wants to be in the lead when they come around after these first 100 meters? And the athletes get to come in a waterfall. And it looks like at the moment it's Ratana. Ratana is the one in the lead. Smink is beside him. And you can see Smink looking around. There was the option to go behind Ratana. The thing with an 800 meters is that there isn't enough time to get out of position. It's not like a 1500, it's not like an 800. You have to be in the right position right from the start. And this is interesting. Now, Ratana seems to have just gifted Smink the position, and oh my goodness, we have had another crash. Ratana is down. Oh no, they are just dropping like flies here. He is out of his chair. I mean, he's gonna have to get back in that chair quite swiftly because the men are coming around. Austin Smink has seen what's happened. He is now taken off. And things can all change at any moment, and that is devastating. Another athlete out from the final. Okay, so at the moment, we are left with Smink in the lead. And he's going to come through for a relatively easy qualification. Othman in 2nd and Arshid in 8th, and how everything has changed with just one mistake. We'll have to get another look at that. Smink across the line first. I think we had Othman behind him and Rashid after him. 141 from Smink, 142, and this heat, we'll have to wait and see if it's going to be faster and who is going to get those auto-qualifying spots. What's going to happen if there is going to be appeal? Oh, so much drama in these last 2 races on this track final. Arshid coming through for the 3rd qualifying spot. And you can see there in terms of auto-qualifier, Michel currently occupies one of those with 155, and Nawad from the previous heat occupying the final of those fastest qualifiers at 2:01. You can see Austin Smink there just pointing to his head and perhaps saying that that race was won by staying alert and staying out of trouble. Okay, now let's watch again what is going on here. Will, what did you see?
Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of action. Michel is trying to move up on the inside. Ratana's there. There's a little bit of a bump that will eventually come. Arms are out a little bit. It's tightening, and then Michel and Ratana, well, their wheels just get tangled in together, don't they? And Michel, he was keeping his arms up, trying presumably not to get his left hand snagged in that, and then the bump happens, and Ratana goes down and Michel catches him.
Now this is going to be really interesting because you're right, by my eye, that was Michel that caused that crash. However, what is going to happen now? Typically, you might think that Ratana might be automatically advanced by the officials, but we've now had the same situation in both heats, and we only have 9 lanes, and so we're going to have to wait and perhaps bring you an update later on this evening until we figure out who exactly is going to be in this final.
Well, that was carnage all the way. They can't all go through. I mean, they can. It would be very, very entertaining, but, you know, that's a different story. Good grief. Yeah, everything I said at the end of the first semi-final, maybe it'll be quite sedate. They can have a look at each other. They know what they're going to do. None of that happened. None of it. Carnage.
The thing right now we are seeing that Ratana is being taken off in a wheelchair. It doesn't obviously necessarily mean that he's injured, but my biggest concern at the moment is that there's a problem with that chair. And if there's damage to his chair, if he's even going to be able to contest this 800-meter final.
So here's the result of the women's long jump T20 qualification. Telvav did have that longest attempt in the final round, but as she is out, Stepankova, Im Kuto and Latuan all progress to the final tomorrow, and that lifetime best for Im Youngji as well. It's a fair old bump here, and you see his arms are up, Michelle, and he's trying not to get involved, and he gets involved. And there was also a little bump for Ottoman, who's a little further up from the UAE, but he stayed upright, thankfully for him.
I think the wisest move all from everyone there was Austin Smink going straight to the front, choosing to go wide, well out, straddling lane 2 and 3 and staying well out of any danger.
So Brazil with 12 gold medals for the week, 37 in all. China, lots of thrills today. They've got 9 crowns and 40 medals overall. India with the great successes last night for Nish Kumar and for Simran. They're up to 6 golds now, along with Iran and Thailand and Italy. Assunta Nante scoring today. 5 for De Bruyne and 1 for Hug from a Swiss point of view. China's 9th, by the way, from Wen Zhaoyan in the long jump T37. That was a great result from their point of view. Fleur Young has picked up 2 now for the Netherlands. Further success, Hannah Cockcroft with a hat-trick and Sabrina Fortune as well. Germany with Marcus Reim last night, picking up a 4th crown. That was great success. Mikey Brannigan for the United States. Ireland with 3, 2 for Orla Comerford, 1 for Greta Stray-Makite, and Grimaldi scoring for New Zealand as well. And tonight, tons of finals. Will be back in around just under 6 hours time for the penultimate evening session of New Delhi 2025 and these exciting World Para Athletics. From Tulson Tollett, Steph Reed and me, Will Downing, have a very good day, and we'll be back with you soon. Bye-bye.